What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Over-Under. I'm your host, Harry the Greek. Thanks for joining us this evening. Alongside of me is my co-host, Mr. Peter Blake from CW44 and the Sports Web.
You addressing me?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I forgot. You know, we would have been on 30 minutes ago, but His Highness over here, Hein Ass, is what I meant to say,
exactly.
decided to just show up from work.
I don't know what she just said, but I think she's asking you if you fed the cats. Yeah, I had to go through.
This is what I understood.
Well, yeah.
I got earphones on.
Well, that's how I act sometimes when you say something. I just completely zone out. Yeah.
Well, this is what you sound like sometimes. Well, say something.
Hello?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Absolutely nothing.
I had to go through a monsoon to get here. Be nice to me.
Oh yeah,
you did feed me though. That was good.
Yeah, I did.
I guess I need to move over a little bit here.
Yeah, just a smidgen.
Okay.
I think we look good. You have a question or a comment for the Greek and a little Pete? You can dial 727-320-5866.
Keep it up.
It's 727-320-5866.
Keep it up.
That's what she said.
Well, not to me.
Anyway, questions or comments, go ahead and give us a call. We're going to take the phone calls. It's live. It's interactive. You have a question or comment as well, you can post it right on the line right here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Yes.
We're going to go ahead and read it live on the air. And even, hell, it might even give us a different narrative to talk about.
Wow, that'd be awesome.
Pete, I want to jump right in it.
Do it.
Fat Mike isn't on here. Fred Huebner isn't listening. I'm sorry. He probably could be listening, but I know he's not on here. Mm-hmm. I want to debunk what they're actually saying about the Chicago White Sox.
What are they saying about him?
Break the team up. Dude, listen, first off, I don't want to act like they're the only ones that said it. I talked about it as well. They should just split this team up.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. The White Sox end up sweeping the Minnesota Twins. It puts them one game out, and they have played absolutely horrible baseball. But I'm telling you now, they're on a 4-game win streak.
Mm-hmm.
The team is actually starting to play like a team together.
Right.
And I have to tell you, I owe it. I got to give credit where credit's due. The most unlikely player. Forget the fact that this team has played decimated the entire year, just like they did last year. However, with that being said, they didn't really get everybody together last year until September, and you really can't develop that team chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
But Johnny Cueto is the reason why this team is playing.
Wow. Johnny Cueto has been around for ages.
Listen, this guy is the MVP of the Chicago White Sox.
Amazing. By the way, this is ginger ale. This is not what you're thinking.
No, it is.
They're not. We're not. We don't do shows drunk. Sorry.
What'd you have for dinner?
Well, it was you actually fed me good tonight. I actually had Wendy's. It was good. Baconator.
Wendy's.
Yeah, Wendy's was good.
I had sushi though.
Oh, you had sushi?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, well, how was it? That was good. I've had sushi before. I had sushi with you guys, about a month ago?
Yeah, it was extraordinary, actually.
It's the first time I ever ate it. Awesome.
When you go to the Greek's house and you're late, you get Wendy's.
Well, I like Wendy's.
When you get to the Greek's house and you get here early, we go have steak at E&E.
Well, that's where we need to go.
Pizza.
Oh, well, we need to go have steak next week because you owe me a steak dinner and then I owe you a steak dinner. So we need to.
Okay, I'll buy you your sirloin. You can buy me my porterhouse. Okay.
Shut up. That's good to be here, buddy.
Oh, the White Sox are up 2-0. Just as I said, I think this team is turning a corner.
Yeah.
Okay. It's 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Minnesota has bases loaded.
Bases loaded.
I'm going to go back to what I was saying about this White Sox team. Look, they have some pretty significant injuries, especially into the bullpen.
I kind of like this. Hey, Harry, the Greek.
And 44
Pete. I like that.
Oh, that's Christopher Cole. He's just sucking up.
He's awesome. I love Christopher Cole. Christopher Cole is a webhead. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you, little Pete. I got your little Pete right here.
You're the little Pete.
Shut up.
He's on the Greek show.
Be quiet. I'm on my show right now. Oh, yeah, this is my show now. Right. I'm taking over this show.
He's taking over this show.
I love you, brother.
All right, let's get to some of the comments. We'll go back to the White Sox talk. Christian Shanafel, what's up, Christian? Thanks for tuning in tonight. Dare I say the White Sox are finally to turn it around? No, yeah. You can say
he said so he left it open there. Look, baseball's a long season, yes, right? So, ebbs and flows, if you will. 162 games. Some teams start out really poor, and then all of a sudden they catch fire. Case in point, the Cincinnati Reds. Look, they're not going to compete this year, but they've caught fire lately. They just swept the Tampa Bay Rays, who just swept the Boston Red Sox the other night, who are now playing the Baltimore Orioles, who are in it.
Yeah, the Baltimore Orioles. Hey, Pep.
And Bandit is making an appearance. Hello, Bandit.
Hi, Bandit.
How you doing?
You go stand right in front
of
Pete.
That's it. Good job, Bandit. Way to go. Way to go. That's where a lot of people like to see anyway. They don't want to see my face.
Oh, God.
In fact, my beard looks like a cat right now. Cats.
Here you go, Rick.
Well, you had to go there, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm so excited. Are you excited?
I'm excited.
I'm excited. But by the way, I'm gonna pass you by.
For those of you that are wondering, what the hell is Pete and Harry talking about? It's an inside thing between. Okay, I could say it. Peter, me, and a guy named Rick.
Yes.
That should be a song.
Well, it should be. Sounds like a song. Especially the time he said he was going to pass me. Pass me what? Gas?
In his Prius.
Oh. Well, that's how you save gas. That's one way, I guess. Especially when you're full of hot air.
Oh, Joanna MacArthur. Hi, Joanna. Nice. Thanks for tuning in. Hi, Peter and Harry.
Hi, guys.
Yeah. Mike Hughes. What's up, Mike? My guys.
I love Mike.
Mike's awesome.
Yeah, Mike is awesome. I got to get him on the show sometime. I haven't done a show in a while. I'm having technical problems here. My computer's breaking down. I think it's time to invest in another one. As crazy as it sounds, I've had it since 2018. How many shows have I done on that?
I don't know.
About 500.
Jesus.
About 500 shows. So I think it may be time to invest.
Mike Hughes says, break the team up, laughing my ass off. How about actually bringing in some legitimate free agents, Ride Store? Well, I can see the point there, but this team is built. You know what this team needs right now? They need one more bullpen arm.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to say this, they really, really need a second baseman. And yes, Fat Mike, they need Nick Mangergold back. You know the guys that you can't stand on the north side? I don't know why, but I'm telling you, for some reason, he puts on that south side uniform, he can actually play.
That's it. There you go.
But then again, these are my opinions.
That's right. They're all your opinions. You don't necessarily have to agree with them. You can. We're not going to hang up on you, by the way.
Mike Hughes says, break the team up. He said that again. Christopher Cole, what's up, Chris? Hey, Harry.
44 Pete, I love it.
Pete. Roger Shue had power outages here. Sorry, I'm late, Harry and Malacca.
Oh, God.
That's about correct.
Yep.
Roger Shue says, Harry and Little Pete.
Yeah, exactly, buddy. How's that new job? Oh, wait, you don't have a new job. You have the same job. Good.
Kyle Nichol, be careful. You never want to burn a bridge.
Oh, I didn't burn any bridge.
Well,
I'm not burning any bridge with Roger. Roger's my buddy. He's always going to be my buddy. But,
everybody's like,
why were they texting? Who is that?
No,
who is texting
Kyle
you?
Nichol.
Stop texting. Gents. We're live.
Yeah, really. Tell me about it. Roger Shue says socks suck. Northsiders for life.
Yeah, well, actually, the Cubs are terrible this year, so I don't know what he's talking about. Record-wise.
I don't either.
Roger's getting dementia in his old age. That's what's happening.
Roger.
Here, well, we're drink to you, Roger.
This ginger's for you, buddy.
There you go, Ranger. There you go, Ginger.
Christian, maybe the White Sox are just showing up late, like Peter. LOL, just kidding. Yeah, I like this guy, Christian.
Hey, better late than never, right?
That's true. Joanna says, hi, Bandit. Love you. He loves you too, honey.
Yes.
Roger Shue says, can't tell the difference between Bandit's ass and Peter's face.
Yeah, well, see, I kind of said that joke already, but good job there.
Pig Dog, what's up, Pig Dog, man? Thanks for tuning in tonight. Hi, Harry and Peter. What do you think the likelihood is that the Rays make it into the playoffs as one of the wild cards? I'm going to tell you right now, they got a great chance for doing it.
They got a great shot there, and the White Sox are
by Luis Robert.
Yes, great catch by him to get out of that situation, that high leverage situation. But Rays making the wild card. I mean, 17 players this year on the ILL? If they can get some of those players back, they definitely have a shot. You would think, right?
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's a long baseball season. Okay, so we're not even into the All-Star break is after this.
Yep.
So there's still a lot of baseball to be played, and I know that's not necessarily what you're looking for. So
to answer also the question about the Tampa Bay Rays,
yeah,
there's a team they're really going to be contending with. This is the team that they're playing right now.
Yeah,
this team could feasibly be a game or two behind the Rays, which is the Baltimore Orioles.
That's amazing.
Talk about a hot team. Number 2 bullpen in all of baseball. Shout out to my nephew, Joey Kriebel.
We got to have him on, by the way, sometime.
He's great.
Yeah, he is great.
Also, before we go any further.
What are you looking at? You looking at numbers?
If you guys are noticing at the bottom of the screen, that record is 103-56. Could have been perfect yesterday.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's cheers to that.
Hold on. You know why?
Well, let's cheers. There you go. All right.
1252's very own Jacob Charnow calls me up yesterday. He says, hey, Greek, I need a parlay for today. I was like, I don't like parlays. I was like, all right, I'll give you something, kid.
All right.
And I ended up having to play too, and I fell right into the trap. What do I always say? You got to play the home dog.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. I give them White Sox, Mets, and Yankees. White Sox and Mets are underdogs on the road. The Yankees, They're playing the hapless Cincinnati
Reds.
Who
just swept the Rays.
Hold on. Mm-hmm. I'm not even checking the score in the Yankee game. White Sox are blasting and throttling the Twins, and the Mets are throttling the Cubs. And I'm like sitting in my rocking chair going, yep, this is a nice win.
You got it, right?
Oh, yeah, got it. Extra innings. I'm like, what? Again, let me repeat this. If you are going to dibble around or dabble,
dibble and dabble, not to be confused with Rob Dibble.
Very careful on betting things that look like sure locks. I'm going to keep preaching it, and I'm going to continue to preach it. Continue to wager on home underdogs, because if you continue to play the sexy picks, the Dodgers with Kershaw on the mound, or Cortez with the Yankees on the mound. I'm sorry, with Cortez on the mound for the Yankees against the hapless Cincinnati Reds. I promise you, you will lose.
Eventually, you will. Definitely.
No, it happens. It just takes one loss to offset all those wins that you had because of all the additional money you're having to take that team.
And educate the people out there just tuning in. What is a parlay exactly?
A parlay is when you're betting multiple teams. There's a straight wager, and then there's parlay, and there's a lot of little different things that go along with it. And tonight, I'd like to give a couple of games out, believe it or not.
Really?
Yep. Remember how I said Clayton Kershaw with the LA Dodgers?
Yeah, you're feeling generous tonight. That's a good thing.
The Anaheim Angels. Okay, they're home underdogs. They're almost 2-1 dogs.
Wow.
Okay. Take the Angels.
Take the Angels. Take the Angels.
Yeah,
okay.
I know you guys are looking at me
over
crazy.
Kershaw. Why do you say that?
They're at home.
But give me.
Hold on. Why did I say I like the Yankees yesterday on the road to Cincinnati? Answer the question with the question. I just answered it for you. You kind of understand where I'm going to?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. It's the same scenario.
I just wanted you to explain to them.
It's just the same scenario. Diamondbacks are on the road at the Padres. Stay away from the game. The Padres are way, way too big of a favorite. If you are going to bet the game, I'm staying away from it. I would play Arizona here because the price always makes up for the pick. It always does. You got Bumgarner on the mound. The Brewers are at the Giants. Another situation. Home underdogs. Play the Giants. Stay away from the parlays if you can. If you are going to bet a parlay, make it very small, because what does Harry the Greek always say?
Keep your bets low
and your returns high.
There you go.
That's exactly what it's about.
Good stuff.
There's another game that I kind of like, but the game has already started.
What was the game?
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, why not?
It's too late.
Well, it's never too late.
It's too late.
It's never too late. And by the way, your White Sox here looks like a double there by McGuire.
McGuire.
There you go. Very nice.
Yep, it is. And
we got another one from Pig Dog there. I like Pig Dog video.
Hang on.
We already asked that one.
And Peter, what was the point of the Young Bucks winning the tag titles only to lose them 3 weeks later? I don't understand it. What is he speaking
about? He's talking about AEW, and we do talk wrestling sometimes. Yeah, AEW wrestling. I have no idea what that booking is all about. AEW sometimes confuses me with some of their booking. So, but I think they're kind of scrambling right now to see what they're trying to do with Punk out, and so I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get that at all.
Christian says Sox could also use a manager, don't forget. No, I'm not going to go for that.
Well, a lot of people will put that out there.
He's the most winningest manager in all of baseball. I understand he's
Has baseball passed him by? In your opinion, has baseball passed him by?
I don't think it's passed him by. Does he make questionable decisions? Absolutely. But he's done that his entire career.
Okay.
So what if some of those decisions would have actually panned out for him? Would we be having this conversation?
It's just being more magnified at this point.
It's gotten so bad when you're in the third largest market in the entire country. They showed a video of Tim Anderson, and someone was announcing in the clubhouse after the game, albeit after a loss.
Right.
And Tim Anderson is sitting on a chair. You may not have heard about this.
I didn't.
And he's thanking everybody, genuinely, hey, I want to thank everybody, my team, this and that. I'm making the all-star team. And someone shouts in the background, stand up. And he didn't. And he just continued to speak. And when that happened, all the media in Chicago went completely batshit crazy and started saying, oh, the team's complacent. Oh, wait a minute. The team doesn't care. Tim Anderson, it's all about me.
Well, you've got to have stories.
Can we make them a legit?
I mean, sometimes it's just not like that. That's just not the way sports and anything these days are. It's all about clickbait.
Look, I'm not going to be a homer and just pound my chest and just root for my team. Because I'll tell you what, out of the 103 wins that I have this year, there's not that many White Sox wins in there. Because I usually don't try to bet with my heart.
You've always talked about that. You've always talked about that, betting with your heart.
You can't do it. You can't do it.
So,
but
we try not to do that on this show.
But I also will tell you this.
Yes.
When you have a team that's rolling, never bet against streaks, Peter.
Never bet against them.
Never bet against streaks. Okay. Like Baltimore. If you had to pick a side, would you take Baltimore or Tampa, truthfully, in this game?
Well, who's pitching? I don't know who's pitching right now.
It's irrelevant. We're talking about the Baltimore Orioles against Tampa Bay Rays.
Because Baltimore has given Tampa Bay problems, I would take Baltimore.
Wow, that's pretty strong because now you're learning from me. But the average fan's going to say, oh, Tampa Bay, 100%.
Well,
don't bet against streaks until the streak beats you.
Right.
And if you can't bet with the streak, you're not supposed to bet.
It's in Tampa, right?
I really hope people understand what I'm saying by that. And what the compass of, I'm trying to circle everything back around here. What I'm trying to say is you have a hot team and you're always looking for streaks and you're also looking for tendencies. Right now, the White Sox, it's tied 2-2. They were underdogs with Michael Kopech on the mound and a team that's scoring a lot of offense, okay? Between Luis Robert, Jose Abreu, and I forgot who it is. They're batting over 300 right now. They're playing really good offense.
Well, can Jimenez stay healthy?
No, he's already dinged up again. But the point I'm trying to make is this is a team you want to continue to bet because they're on this streak. And you're going to get them at a good price. Meaning, it's okay to bet a really good team when they're playing really good. But it's hard to play them when you're when you're laying 2.5 to 1 on your money. You want to play a team that has upside that is either even money or small favorite or very small underdog.
Can you get into a what's the word I'm looking for? Can you get into some type of quandary where you're taking some team because they are on a hot streak and then eventually they're going to lose, and that night that you pick them to win because they are on a hot streak, that they do lose, that you do lose money?
A lot of people call that the do theory.
Okay.
And I know some people that are watching the show, they actually gamble. The do theory is exactly what you're talking about. Wow, they're due to lose. But you know what? They're due to win. Go to a casino and you go to play roulette.
Right.
Okay. And if you want to play almost a 50-50 split, you have red and you have black.
You know the last time I went to a casino, how much money I lost?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Red came up 5 times in a row. And you walk up and go, hey, how many times did red come up? 5 times in a row. And you're going to like, give me 100 on black, but it come up on red. Wait a minute. Those are people to what they call the do theory. Or I'm sorry, they're due to lose.
Well, I kind of feel like that. I tell my friend all the time. He tells me I went on the slots. I won $10,000, and I said, well, how much did you walk out with? 0. Well, when you were up 10,000 or when you started losing, why didn't you just get out? Well, I was on a hot streak, but then you were on a losing streak, so why not walk out?
Well, that's the whole thing. In gambling, you got to know when to hold them, when to fold them. It's an old Kenny Rogers song.
It is.
And it comes to true pass.
Can you sing it?
No, not here because we'll get shut down.
Okay, good. So let's go ahead and cheers it out.
Christopher Sandoval says, Sox could also use a manager. Don't forget. I'm going to go ahead and address that again. You may be correct, but I don't think you take a team that's going to be potentially a game out after this series, potentially, and then fire your manager. Sorry, you just don't do it.
Right.
Now, could it light a spark up under someone's ass? Yeah, but it could also piss off a lot of players as well.
Wow, look at this.
Mike Hughes says, not replacing Rodon set up the narrative of the season. That's not true, Mike. I don't know, Mike. I gotta politely disagree with you on that, and let me explain why. You're talking about one player. You're talking about a pitcher. I don't care if you had Rodon here. When this team for the past 2 months has been fielding a AAA ball club because of all the injuries, I don't care if Jesus Christ himself, well, maybe Jesus, because then he'd end up winning. Okay.
Right.
But you get the point I'm trying to make. Okay. Some of the questionable things that, I'm going to go back to what Christian said, about Tony La Russa.
Mm-hmm.
Having people that should be batting on the bottom of the lineup leading off. Look, man, it's easy to be an armchair manager or an armchair quarterback. Okay. They're in that field for a reason.
Well, there are a lot of fans that used to talk the same way about Joe Madden when he was managing down here, and of course now he's no longer a manager in Major League Baseball.
Do you remember when he first introduced the bullpen sessions?
Yes.
Game after game after game.
Yes.
Like, what kind of horse crap is that, man? You can't win like that. Starters have got to go 5, 6, 7 innings.
But they've shown that they can do that.
All of a sudden, he was hailed as a genius, and then he went to the Cubs. He started doing that there a little bit, and all of a sudden, oh my God, the guy's a genius. And
he was a genius.
And then he ran his ass out of Chicago as quickly as they thought he was a genius.
Still won a World Series, though.
Yes,
and I don't understand. Like you won a World Series, and then after how many years? 108 years, and you finally win a World Series, and then basically you're exited out the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And then you go to the Angels. It doesn't work out there. I mean, Joe Madden's one of the best managers in the game. He should definitely have a managerial job.
And he got termed.
Right.
And he got fired.
I never understood why the Rays let him go. Well, I do understand why they let him go, because of money. That's
Roger Shue says, cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Christopher Cole says, if I start betting, I'm not betting on the Cubs or the Bucks.
Well, why not the Bucks?
That's a smart move, because Chris heard what the Greek said. And I hate to talk about myself in a third person, but someone has to. Do not bet on your home team, because 9 times out of 10, you're betting with your heart.
Not always.
Did you just? That's right. That's why hence the word 9 out of 10. I understand you work for the CW and CBS.
Yeah.
That's why I said 9 times out of 10. Is that always? No, 10 out of 10 is always, not 9 out of 10.
All right, smart guy.
Okay. I can see, at least I'm getting a little acknowledgement here.
Whatever.
Roger Shue says, Roger Shue says, where's Rex Grossman, a.k.a. Troy?
Who knows?
Fred Hubner says, Robert and TA's. Ooh, hey, Fred. Thanks, bud.
What's up, Fred?
He's awesome, by the way. Great show Monday nights. Hubes, Brews, and hang on. Hubes, Views, and Brews.
Easy for you to say.
I tell you one thing.
I
love his brews.
I bet you do.
No, seriously. And the only problem with it is I can't get what he's drinking up there, because Fred, we're only 1,200 miles away. But when I come up there, you are taking me to a couple of these places, because I can't wait to actually check it out.
Nice.
Hubner says Robert and TA's defensive liabilities lately, and Kopech with his second straight start giving up 2 in the first. Damn it. Absolutely, Fred. I'm feeling the pain. But you have to admit it. You're starting to see a little bit of difference in the way this team's starting to play. I'm still seeing some of the stupid things that are happening, but they have the second half to get this together, unlike they did last year. Last year, if you remember, I think it was late August, even early September, and I could be wrong, but that team didn't actually get together till then, and they had no chance when they went in the playoffs. And I'm not saying they're winning a World Series.
Right.
But this team should be able to win this division, and they should be able to make some sort of a push into the playoffs.
Well, all you got to do is you want to get in. I mean, you once you get in, then you never know what happens at that point.
But yes, Fred is correct about one thing, especially with Kopech. Michael right now is not pitching like he was a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
The kid was unhittable. But am I the only one that's noticed that he's lost 4 miles an hour on his fastball? Is that by design?
Uh-oh. Well, that may be an injury. That may be from a tired arm. And that's why a lot of pitchers don't go the 6 to 7 to 8 innings like they used to.
Joanna MacArthur, cheers. Yeah. Roger Shue says, bets low and returns high, 100%. Roger Shue says, Matt Jackson injured in match.
They call an audible to have a swerve and
our glory win
titles. That's AEW again. That's wrestling. Yeah, that's probably what it was. That's what it comes down to, injuries.
Hey, Raj, I know nothing about wrestling.
I do. I'll carry you. I'll be your Ric Flair. I'll carry you through a match. You be Hulk Hogan. I'll be Ric Flair. I'll carry you. You don't have to do anything. I'll just carry you throughout the whole thing.
Did, like you and Roger ever do Mazzola roller wrestling?
No.
Do you know what that is?
I don't even want to know.
Absolutely, because right now Fred Hubner is dying when I just said that.
You're an idiot.
Fred, I dare you. Go ahead and tell everybody what Mazzola roll-up wrestling is.
You're an idiot. It sounds
I'll
bad
tell you
me.
what. No, it's actually kind of fun.
Oh, yeah? What is it?
I'll tell you what. I implore everybody to go ahead and make a comment. after I do this. Mazzola roller wrestling is when you remember playing Twister, or are you too young for that?
I played it, yeah, a little bit.
Well, it's the
Too
same
young.
kind of concept. It's a big plastic tarp. And you grab a bottle of Mazzola corn oil. And you just put it all over the place.
Sounds like something you do in the fraternity.
Yeah, kind of.
Or something in old school.
Why does it have to be old? It just sounds like fun.
Old school, the movie.
I mean, yeah, old school, the movie. But
you're my boy, Blue.
But just imagine grabbing a hold of somebody. That's what they call a Mazzola roller party. But you have a whole bunch of people doing it. It's actually kind of cool. I wouldn't know anything about it.
Yeah, it sounds like something you do on a Friday or Saturday night or something.
Christian Shanafelt says, I'm not saying LaRusse is the only problem, but my God, there needs to be changes 100%. I'd love to know what changes you want to see.
Right.
Other than a second baseman.
Call for it. There you go.
I'm not going
baby.
Listen, I'm not going to be on the bandwagon of fire Tony. This city in Chicago has a tendency of just wanting to get rid of the next coach. The backup quarterback is always the best player on the team. You know, you got to get behind your team sometime.
Well, the fan base is hungry for winners. That's what they're hungry for. They're hungry for the White Sox to be a winner. They're hungry for the Cubs to be a winner. They're hungry for the Bulls to be a winner. They're hungry for the Blackhawks to be a winner. And right now, most of all those teams I just talked about are just irrelevant. Right? So I don't blame the fans. I understand where they're coming from. They're fans at the end of the day. But
what changes? Instead of just saying the word changes, what changes are supposed to be made?
I tell you what, give out the phone number. Give out the phone number. Let them call in.
You know what? You have a question or a comment, give us a call. It's 727-320-5866, 727-320-5866. I'm your host, Harry the Greek, alongside with CW's very own Peter Blake.
I like 44 Pete. That's kind of cool, but
that was pretty good.
We'll do the CW Peter Blake.
No, but Christian, seriously, I'd like to know what changes rather than just saying, hey, they just need to make changes. What is it? I already gave you what I think the changes need to be. They need a relief pitcher and they need a second baseman. Do they go out and get that?
It costs money. I say no. I mean, it's like the Rays all over again. You got to spend money. You got to make the moves at the trading deadline. Will the White Sox do that? Have they done that in the past? No. Will they do it this year? Most likely no. You know why? Because they're cheap.
Yeah. Christian Shanafelt says, winning ugly in 84, I was a White Sox fan. Also, I have to admit. You know what? It's true. You know, Peter, you didn't know that. That was their motto back then.
What's that?
It was called winning ugly.
Winning ugly. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know why they called it winning ugly.
You said something else, but
I think it had something to do with those butt-ass ugly uniforms that they used to have.
Maybe.
I'd love to know.
Maybe bring them back.
Probably know
maybe that'll help.
Christian Shanafelt says Toronto's in the playoff picture as it stands. They fired their manager. Not saying TLR needs to be fired right now. Damage probably has already been done, but after the season, see ya.
I don't understand why they fired Montoya. I don't know. If you're in the playoff chase, why are you firing the manager unless the manager had some internal problems with ownership? That's
a question.
Or the general man. That's the only time that happens. Something like that. Like Joe Madden, right? They went on a win streak, 12-game win streak, and then all of a sudden he's on the hot seat because he's had internal problems in that organization. That's why he lost his job. That's why it always happens. It's a popularity contest.
That's
sometimes.
A great point.
It really is.
That's a great point. In my point of view on that, honestly, Toronto is one of the premier teams in the major leagues this year.
We always talk about Toronto being a premier team.
And you know what? And they haven't lived up to it. They have pitching. They have really good offense. They have an extraordinary defense, but they haven't pulled it together. But you know what the difference between the White Sox and Toronto is?
What's that?
Toronto's been healthy.
Yes, Toronto's been healthy, and they also spent money in the offseason.
And they're still not playing up to their capability.
But is that the manager's fault, or is that the players that the GM or the ownership got?
You know what?
And that's the problem, because the manager will get blamed for it because he's the captain of the ship. It's always been like that.
Like anything you do.
Yeah, but it's unfair to a certain degree, is it not?
I can say that about my 9 to 5 as well. I've been with the same company for 15 years. I'm 5 people short, but we're still producing.
Right.
We're still doing the same amount of cars on a daily basis.
How many years has Montoya been with them? A couple of years? And they fired him? Wow.
I don't know.
I mean, to me, that's not a good thing to do in the middle of the season.
Nope. And please, I don't want to hear anything more about AJ Pierzynski supposed to be taking over the managerial duties for the White Sox. He's not Ozzie Guillen.
Do you like that?
No.
Why is that a sexy name besides the fact that he played hard as a White Sox player?
Because the narrative's always going to fit this in Chicago. Ozzie did it, and he's a former player. But hey, you guys got to want to be reminded about Robin Ventura?
Well, catchers are smart guys. He was a catcher in the league. Catchers are some of the smartest players out there.
I think this team is built to win now. I think if they were going to do something with the manager, they should have did it before the season started. La Russa would not have been my pick to run this particular team.
Right.
Okay, but I'm not going to be indicting. Is he too old? Does the game pass him by?
You've already said it. He makes questionable decisions.
Right.
And that's where the fans are coming from. I see the fans' perspective on that. I understand that because I feel the same way. I felt the same way about Joe Madden. I feel the same way sometimes about Kevin Cash. I still can't get over last couple of years, 2 years ago in the World Series in Game 6, how you take out Blake Snell, who is absolutely cruising at that point, and you take him out for a bullpen, and guess what happens? They blow the game wide open. Dodgers win.
Unbelievable.
Sometimes you just got to put the computer in the closet. Sometimes you got to let a pitcher pitch, especially if he's dealing like that.
Andrew Forbear says, look at those two buttes. What's up, big store?
Big board.
It's a big store, too.
Big store. Jeez.
Our Canadian buddy. Fred Hubner had a parlay with Robert to drive in a run, and he leaves in second with an injury. Oh, boy.
These guys are fragile. Another injury to the White Sox. I feel like we're talking about the Rays because the Rays have had the same thing.
Christian Shanafel says Rick Hahn can move on as well.
I don't know who Rick Hahn is. Who's that?
He's the GM.
Oh, he's the GM? Well, yeah. I mean, I think, look, if you're going to clean house, that's the problem. See, okay, you can fire the manager all you want to, but who's the guy who got the goods, right? It's like Bill Parcells said, about 15, 20 years ago? I want to not only be a part of the coach, but I also want to buy the groceries. Who bought the groceries? Hahn. So Hahn bought the groceries. Groceries aren't working out. You fire the manager. What's the next step?
Fred, do you agree with that?
Clean
I'm
house.
just kind of curious. I'd love to see what Fred's perspective is on that.
I don't know what Nee's saying. She's elbow cough. So I guess I got an elbow cough. What's that?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I think she's got an iPhone. Hi, Nee.
Hi, Nee. How are you?
Hi, Queen Anita.
Roger Shue said, wish I had Fred's bruise also.
I think he wishes he had any bruise at this point. You're not making that much money, are you, Roger?
Roger, I think Fred tips in a week what he makes. I'm kidding, Roger. I'm kidding.
Fred's a legend in Chicago. Are you
Without
serious?
question.
I
Yes,
used
he
to
is.
listen to Fred. I still listen to Fred. I told you I grew up on Chicago sports. Everybody thinks I'm joking about this. Guys, I'm not flirting with you. I really have grown up on Chicago sports. Cubs, White Sox, Bulls. I mean, that's sports down here, especially a baseball
What's
team.
wrong with the Blackhawks?
I watched some Blackhawks. I watched some Blackhawks hockey when the Lightning weren't around, but now it's strictly Lightning.
Fred Hubner says, can't wait. Uber will await us.
Well, there you go. Uber will await us. It's good stuff.
Roger says he got a dead arm. Could. Roger Shue says, I did Mazza wrestling as a kid in Chicago.
Well, you would do that. You would absolutely admit to that.
Christian Shanafelt says, I'll take Ricky Renteria at this point.
Jeez.
I hate to tell you this.
Yeah.
I thought it was shameful.
What was shameful?
To get rid of Renteria.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. This shows the organization that you have right now. When you have an organization that is getting rid of multiple managers year after year, that's not stability. Same thing with the NFL. So many years with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh, coach is not working out 2 years, fire him. Guess what? You got to change everything over again. That's not stability in sports. It doesn't work like that.
Roger Shue says Mazzola.
Okay. I don't know what he said, but
if we don't see another comment from this point forward,
right,
we know what Roger's doing.
Oh, absolutely.
The Mazzola roll party.
He's wrestling with himself.
Is that like the old what the hell was his name from the 80s? The rock star, the English guy with the one glove and the braces. Hang on. God bless America.
I don't even know what you said.
Guy sang the song "I'm Dancing with Myself."
Dancing with Myself. That was Billy Idol.
That's right.
Yeah, Billy Idol. Cheers to that. Cheers to Billy Idol.
Again. Cheers to you too, Fred.
We're gonna do this. I think we're gonna do a cheers every time we say something smart or something.
Peter, I hear you saying Chicago needs a winner while you are in Tampa. Lucky guy.
I mean, look, I feel bad because I love Chicago sports fans. They're diehards.
Hang on, Fred. Thanks, man. I could just shut my mic off because he's now going to take over.
Well, hello? Yeah, okay. So here's the thing. I feel bad for you guys because I love Chicago sports fans. You guys are diehards. In fact, I wish there was more diehards down here in Tampa. So, yeah, I would like to see you guys win, especially with the Chicago Bulls. I think that's probably the closest thing you got. Maybe the White Sox here. Cubs, they won a World Series a couple years ago after, 108 years, maybe another 108 years until they win another one. But at least you got one, right? And the Blackhawks are just a mess. I'm sorry, man. What? What did I get flicked? What?
108 years, really?
What? Did I say that? On what?
My wife's from Jersey. She's been indoctrinated to love everything.
She
Chicago.
just hit me.
I know she did.
You. She flicked you.
You abused me. I don't have to take it.
That's a pretty good one.
Thank you.
Fred Hubner says Texas manager Doug Radar has used the phrase and it's stuck with the Sox fans. Which one was that?
I think he was saying about 84, how the White Sox were winning ugly. But here's the thing. Win ugly, win pretty. Win, baby. Just win, baby. Go back to Al Davis, right?
By the way, one of my favorite AFC teams of all time.
What, the Raiders?
The Oakland Raiders.
I hate the Raiders.
Why?
I'm sorry.
They were awesome.
Not the time I watched them. I mean, Bo Jackson, maybe. Everything else after that. It's kind of stunk.
Roger Shue says, Pete, when you giving the Greek and I a tour of CW44?
I think that could definitely be arranged, guys. Some future plans on the horizon. Keep it locked.
You said you're going to pay for Fred Hubner's airline ticket to come down to Florida?
Absolutely. Why not?
Absolutely.
I just got a raise and everything. Yeah, sure. Let's have him have him down. We'll have some brews. We'll talk some sports. I mean, that's a sports legend right there. He has all kinds of stories to talk about when it comes to sports in general.
I got to pump the brakes here. I got to tell you a quick story.
Yeah, what's that?
I remember some years ago, I'm listening to Fred doing a post-game show for the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
The Bears got their ass shellacked. He might even remember this. It was against the Houston Texans. In Houston, I mean, just absolutely mopped them up. I flew from Florida to Chicago to go see probably arguably the third coldest game ever.
And that was who? What? Who was that against?
Houston.
Against Houston. Okay.
Now, I get out of the car. I am wearing a pair of long johns.
Okay.
A pair of sweatpants.
Okay.
A pair of jeans. And the same kind of layers that I've had for my shirts.
Sure.
Then I'm wearing a scarf.
Not to be confused with his stomach, by the way.
Okay.
Just saying.
Then I'm wearing a scarf. I'm completely layered up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm shaking like a whore in church.
Wow.
It is that cold.
I can't imagine.
So the wife goes, I'll take care of this, honey. And I'm like, here? No. She whips out a bottle of brandy. Okay. And she starts pouring it into my hot chocolate.
Consequently, a lot of Chicago sports fans are feeling like this right now.
So
they've done this.
So what does this have to do with Hubner?
Right.
This is a good story because he doesn't even know about this.
Okay.
I'm like trashed by the end of the first quarter. So we're leaving the game in the third quarter because they're losing like 100-0. Okay. It's miserable. It's cold, but I don't care. And I'm walking along the lakefront to go to my car. And everybody that knows in Chicago, when it's really windy in the winter, the water is beating up against the seawalls. So you're having to time it because the water's coming over the top and it's spraying you. Well, I didn't time one of them and I got completely soaked.
Wow.
And I had another half a mile to walk. And it's freezing. It's below zero. I get to the car and I'm getting undressed outside the car, wrapped up in a blanket to get in there. And my wife says, listen to this guy, Fred. He is going nuts on the radio. He's like, this team needs to be shot or whatever. I don't remember exactly.
I love that. I love that passion.
Awesome.
That is the reason why you get into sports talk radio and sports talk in general.
So my drunk wife decides to call the radio station and she's talking to you.
Oh my God. Okay. That's funny.
Fred, if you remember, because you made a comment about her Jersey accent. You're like, where are you from? Where are you from? I'll never forget that.
How long ago was this?
God, this is some years back.
Is this in the 80s with Warren Moon, Haywood Jeffries, Ernest Givens? How long ago was this? How long?
It's God, I don't remember, but it's not that long. It's been a while, but it wasn't that long.
Wasn't it in the 90s?
No, it's after the 90s.
Oh, so Steve McNair days.
Yeah.
Okay, Aaron McNair. I think they did get blown out that day, didn't they?
I don't know, but Fred actually might remember that because there was one of the few times that I heard him absolutely he just went nuts. And he's not really known for that.
Sure.
You know, I mean, Mike North used to
I've heard him. I've heard Mike North. I mean, I grew up on Bob Kemp on late nights, 2:00 in the morning out in Vegas, just going ape, you know what, and then having a segment about Tommy Lasorda. And then when Lasorda passed away, and then of course he stopped doing it. But yeah, I had to stay up at night. I was like 10, 11 years old. My mom was wondering, what's wrong with you? I'm listening to sports talk radio. This is what I'm listening to. Yep. You got to go to school in the morning. I want to go to school. I don't care about school.
Fred Hubner says the season is on the players, which Han brought in. Hate to agree. I have to agree.
It is.
Yep. Roger Shue says, I remember that game. Yeah, unfortunately, so do I. Fred also says, give me a few weeks and I'll join you guys on the show from the new 1252 studios. I can't wait.
I like it. I love it. Sounds good.
They're having a really good time with that.
I'm excited.
We're not even going to go there. We're definitely not going there.
Because I'm going to pass you by, buddy. That's why. Cheers to that. Cheers to that.
I want to go ahead and talk a little Chicago Bears football.
Let's do it.
It's a little bit.
Now, look, I've been very, very critical of this organization. I understand what they're doing, but then again, I don't know what they're doing because here's the thing. I get it. You're invested in the future, trying to free up cap, but how in the earthly world have you helped out that rookie or that second-year quarterback in any way?
And I'm going to tell you how they did it.
And don't say it now. Don't take your own advice about this with, putting your heart in this. Honestly, look at this as a football fan.
I honestly think that this team is going to improve ever so slightly this year, just from the mere fact of having a coaching change. Okay. Because we're going to go from the mentality of a team that is passing the ball, not to set up the run. You know how they used to say in Tampa, they're passing the ball to set up the run?
Sure.
Well, this previous regime was passing the ball not to set up the run because they just didn't believe in running the football. And when you have a running back like a David Montgomery or a Khalil Herbert, or the matter of fact, the kid that they just drafted, especially with a defensive-minded head coach and the team and the mentality of wanting to run the football to set up the pass. So you're asking me, how are they going to make that difference? Coaching change is always going to make a difference. Now, are they going to be world beaters? No, but they're not going to be as bad as what people are saying. And I am not as down on this wide receiver crew with having a Brian Pringle. Okay, even though he's an idiot here in Pasco County. By the way, that's the next county north of where we currently live. And he's doing donuts with his buddy in the car with his kid, and he gets arrested because he doesn't have a driver's license. But when you quietly have one of the better slot receivers in the league in a Darnell Mooney.
I love him, but he's your number one wide receiver.
No, he's not anymore. It's going to be a guy by the name of N'Keal Harry that they just got from the Patriots. Hold on before you go. What does a young quarterback always need other than a good tight end? He needs a big-bodied receiver, 6'4", 225 pounds, and he can catch the ball.
Look, I've not seen enough out of him.
And wait a minute.
Yeah.
He can run block.
Okay, he can run block.
There you go.
But here's the thing. What has he done throughout his career?
Look,
being a number one pick for the New England Patriots.
Look, they're not what he got set back a little bit.
Well, it's not like the Patriots have all these weapons.
This is not as bad as people think. Brian Pringle, Darnell Mooney, and N'Keal Harry, and Velus Jones. This is not a bad group, especially Velus Jones. Let me tell you something. Everybody's going to try to compare him. Oh, he's the next Devin. He's not the next Devin Hester. But if he brings another dynamic to this ball club, I think it's going to be different. Defensively, I haven't seen enough. But I think offensively, they're not going to be as challenged as what people think they're going to be. Because they're going to control the football by running the football. And with the youth and the athleticism of Justin Fields, I think they're going to be very mobile back there. And I think they're going to be a little bit better than what people are going to give them credit for. And I'd love to hear your opinion on this, folks.
Yeah, and I think you got to keep your expectations in check because, in my opinion, I don't think they've done enough to help this young quarterback out. Furthermore, you're talking about, Byron Pringle, and you say he's doing donuts. I mean, already I don't like the guy. And then N'Keal Harry, he's done nothing with the Patriots, all kinds of potential. I get it. He's a young receiver, could pop off, but you got a young quarterback. You got to first and foremost protect him. You're going to have to run the ball a lot. And the weapons they have in that wide receiver room just don't impress me. And then defensively, you get rid of Khalil Mack.
They had to, Peter.
I
guy's
get it.
been more injured than he's been playing. It's the same crap's gonna happen when he's out with the Chargers.
I think
Leopards just don't change their spot.
I think they're in a rebuilding year.
But hold on, we're bouncing too far off of this. They got N'Keal Harry for a 7th round draft pick, Pete. A 7th round draft pick. He will be the best receiver for this team next to Darnell Mooney.
Okay.
Because of the fact that he's bringing that, they finally have that receiver that's going to be able to replace the other big body receiver that they had from before. I'm telling you, it's a good sign.
Allen Robinson. We'll see. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of questions there for me. Mm-hmm. And I think it would have been helped out if you re-sign an Allen Robinson. I get it. You don't have the money. You're trying to rebuild. You're trying to free up all that cap right now. You're going through a transition process. But I would warn fans out there that if Fields does struggle, maybe, ease off of them, because I don't think this organization has done enough to help him out. Just my opinion. And I like to hear from you guys. I like to hear from Fred Huebner on this. I like to hear what he has to say.
I'm going to give you a prediction. If he stays healthy this year and they run the ball like I think they're going to run, I honestly think that Justin Fields conservatively can throw for 3,000 yards this year. Not 5 or 4,000. I'm not giving it. I think conservatively he can run for 3,000 yards. Rush for about 700 yards this year, probably throw about 20 touchdowns and maybe 10 to 12 picks.
And see, I think that
would be a successful year.
You could see a team that starts out 0-6, 0-8.
I don't.
And I'll tell you what the light at the end of the tunnel is. Tony Dungy did this the first year when he was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He went 0-8, and then after that, the team learned how to win. They went on a winning streak, and then he carried over next year in '97, and they went to the playoffs. But everybody wanted to fire Tony Dungy, and I hear the same comparisons with the coach that you guys have. So for me, it's a tough schedule. The division is tough. You still have Green Bay. You still have Minnesota. I think Minnesota's improved. I think the Lions are going to play better. I like to be an optimist about this team, but I'm just not optimistic about the Bears. I don't think they've done enough. And I get it. I understand it. It's just, to me, it's a tough situation for Justin Fields.
And let me tell you something. When the pundits are out there talking about how bad a team is going to be prior to the season starting,
sure,
I can also give you 2 or 3 teams that never should have been there last year, and one of them made it to the Super Bowl.
Oh, correct.
Okay?
Correct.
Give me a break.
And the Cincinnati Bengals.
So,
but you have to take that progressive step that I don't know if Justin Fields can do that, because the organization of the Bears hasn't provided enough around him.
You see, and that's where I disagree with you, Ed, because they have done exactly that by getting rid of the coaching staff, bringing in a defensive-minded coordinator and a run-minded head coach.
So let me get this straight. A second-year quarterback has to learn a new system.
Correct. But
okay,
how much
that's tough.
But hold on. That system's going to be drawn back tremendously because of the fact that they're not going to be a pass-happy team.
So you better run the ball a lot.
They're going to run the football a lot. This is how you're going to develop this young man. I'm sorry.
You're going to have to.
Otherwise, they are going to ruin another quarterback. Period. The end. Okay. I remember when Muhsin Muhammad came from Carolina.
Not to interrupt you, but this was my whole point of emphasis when Matt Nagy was given that 1 year to draft a quarterback when he already drafted Money Mitch, and that didn't work out. You should have fired the coach then.
If I'm not mistaken, John Fox drafted Money Mitch.
No, I believe it was. I
don't know about that. I'm trying to remember.
Was it Nagy? No, I believe it was Nagy, and it was also Pace. Well, it was Pace, but the point was,
I don't remember. Why is that not really coming to my brain right now?
I think it was Nagy that drafted him. Was not Fox.
Anyway, I'm sure someone's going to go ahead and
okay, but the point is, why would you not fire Matt Nagy, then bring in a new coach, then bring in the quarterback? Instead, you have Nagy. You know he's on the hot seat. He drafts Justin Fields, and then you're going to fire him. It doesn't make any sense. It stops the quarterback's development. That's what you can't do. That's what you got to be careful with. That's why a guy like Alex Smith, for at least 10 years, was not able to develop because he had multiple offensive coordinators. Jason Campbell comes to mind. Even a Jameis Winston with firing coaches, firing offensive coordinators. That's what we talk about with stability in organizations. When you're firing coaches, when you're firing offensive coordinators, you're changing your systems around, you're ruining your players' development. They're not able to be successful and reach that full potential. So that's what I kind of worry about with Justin Fields. I think the Bears did it backwards. They should have fired Nagy in the first place. They should have had a new coach if he wanted to draft a Justin Fields, and developed them together. Now you have a quarterback who you drafted going into his second year in his second offensive system. It makes no sense.
Good point.
Thank you.
But that's why I think Fields will have a better year this year than he had last year, because of the fact that he's not going to be in that type of offense where he's going to have to rely on his on that right arm of his. Okay. Because if you remember correctly, and this is how I handicap a lot of football games, because I spend hours upon hours breaking down film. And unfortunately, Justin Fields has a hitch in his throw.
He does,
and they're going to get rid of that.
So did Cam Newton. There's a lot of players in their
Cam Newton
past.
never got rid of it. That's the other problem. So if you want to talk about quarterbacks that have been ruined because of offensive systems or having too many coaches,
sure,
just look at Josh Rosen.
Yes.
Okay, the number 10 pick in the NFL, who had absolutely every credential to make it in the National Football League,
correct,
but never found the correct home for him.
Yep.
But then again, you have, and I'm not trying to get off on a tangent, but when you take a mediocre quarterback like a Mac Jones from Alabama and he goes to New England, he has success in the first half of the season. It's because of the offense. It's because of the game plan.
Because the organization has put enough around him to where he can be successful. They have not done that, in my opinion, in Chicago for Fields. Is that fair?
So in closing, yes, it's fair. But in closing, I will say this.
How many wins? Over, under?
I have Chicago being right around 7 wins this year.
I think I gotta go under, man. I'm sorry.
No,
I hate to tell you.
I honestly think
I go under on that.
7 wins. But this is why I think Justin Fields is going to have a better season this year. And I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, Justin Fields, if he has a successful
under. Get out of here.
If Justin Fields has a successul year this year,
she flicked me again. This is the reason.
Get this point out.
You married her for a reason. She flicks you all the time in the back of the head, right?
Peter, if all I have to do is just tell her to kick your ass. She's going to drag you off in that other room and just beat the brakes off you. Trust me, I know my wife. But anyway,
I don't even have a wife at this point. After that, I don't even want a wife.
You couldn't afford mine.
Well, probably couldn't. You're probably right about.
Throw some.
Yeah, she's going to. I do like the fact she's feisty.
He's going to have a good year this year.
Okay.
And next year it's even going to be better. And I'll tell you why. Because he's going to see defenses and he's going to understand how to read them a little bit more. This team is not going to be as challenged as you think offensively.
Okay.
I promise you that. It's the defense you better start questioning and what happened.
Well, look.
And we brought in a defensive-minded coordinator.
You have a new defensive system. Do you have the horses to run it? Are you going to keep Robert Quinn? That's the question. You already got rid of a defensive tackle who went to Tampa Bay.
At this point, it doesn't make a difference if Robert Quinn stays or goes. I'd like to see him stay, but he's not going to.
I don't know how you can say that. Robert Quinn was probably your best defensive player last year.
It's not going to make a difference this year for this defense. So you might as well get that draft capital.
So then you're agreeing with me that it is a rebuilding year. Because if you get rid of Robert Quinn with already getting rid of a Khalil Mack, you're admitting that you're rebuilding, which you are. You're trying to free up cap next year.
Listen, this defensive line, wait till you see what, you know what? We're done talking about this. You are.
What?
Oh God, you infuriate me sometimes.
What do I infuriate you? I watched the game with you last year. We talked about the depth on this team, but come on, you get rid of your best defensive player and Robert Quinn and everything is going to be, unicorns and rainbows.
He doesn't want to play for the team. That's the bottom line.
Okay. Well, then he better
pushing that narrative to get traded. And if I was Robert Quinn, I wouldn't blame him. So while the iron is hot, grab what you can for him. I think you can get a third or maybe even a second round pick for a guy that got.
Get a second or a first for that guy. That guy has still got gas in the tank.
He doesn't have enough years left in his contract, and he's on the wrong side of his age.
I don't know, man. Maybe you're right, but he's still at his highest value.
Okay.
We'll take the good retorts.
Joanna says, really enjoying the show tonight. Thank you, Joanna. Christian says, Mooney is still wide receiver 1, and Keel Harry isn't guaranteed to make the squad. No, he's going to make the squad. They gave up a 7th-round pick for him. Low risk, high reward. Just like keep your bets low and your returns high. I love that.
True.
It can pan out if it doesn't. Not the biggest risk to take.
It's a 7-round pick. Yep. But again, he's a former 1st-round player. I get it. Bears fans say, he's got potential. He's got the.
Trust me.
What is he? Why has he not been successful with the Patriots? That's what you got to look at. Why?
Offensive system.
Okay, so he's not going to fit the offensive system. So you think he'll fit this offensive system?
Okay. Do you think he's going to be better than Avilas Jones?
I don't even know what you just said. I don't know who Avilas Jones
but
is.
But you know who N'Keal Harry is.
I know who he is, but I know he's not done much of anything.
Christian says it was Ryan Pace who drafted Trubisky. I thought I was right with that. It was Fox's final year in Chicago. Nagy came along in year 2 of the Trubisky era. Trubisky was never Ryan Pace's guy.
So then why did Ryan Pace draft him if he wasn't Ryan Pace's guy?
No, not Ryan Pace, Matt Nagy's guy.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, he wasn't Matt Nagy's guy, but then again, you saw with supposedly the offensive acumen, Leo Word, when he was brought over from Kansas City, how he was able to not develop a quarterback. So why did you continue to have him on there when he did nothing with Mitch? Why did you allow him to have another year with Justin Fields?
Great question.
That's what I don't understand. Like, I don't understand that. Somebody has to explain this to me like I'm an 8-year-old. Because I watched football for over 40 years, man.
Here's a great stat.
Sure.
I didn't know that, and Christian brought it up. Thanks for bringing the knowledge and dropping the mic here. PFF graded Brian Peringirl and N'Keal Harry as number 1 and number 2 as the highest graded run, block, and wide receivers last season.
Look, that's all well and good if you're going to run. That's strong, but guys got to catch balls consistently. They got to. I get it. You could talk about guys that you can run block, but they're wide receivers at the end of the day.
I said the team is going to have a focus on the run game this year.
You're going to run the ball 40 times a game?
You know what? If they run the ball 40 times a game and even have a whisper of defense, they're going to win more than 7 games.
I don't see them running the ball 40 times a game.
I don't either. But if they did, they win more than 7.
Yeah, I ain't gonna.
Joanna MacArthur, you know why they'll win more than 7?
Why?
Because if you're running the ball 40 times a game, that means you generally are in the game or you're in the lead.
True. That's true. And you're also taking the pressure off your quarterback.
Correct.
That's the way you're going to have to win.
Joanna says, Peter and Harry, y'all always have great perspectives and outlooks on players and coaches. Thank you, Joanna.
Thank you,
That's
Juana.
exactly what this is all about.
I don't think it's Joanna. It's Juana.
Juana. Sorry, Joanna. Joanna sounds like, do you want it? But that's not what I'm trying to say. Cheers. There we go. Cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
Juana or Joanna.
Yeah. It's Juana. It's not Joanna, but.
You're probably right. You usually are.
There you
work
go.
for CBS.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Christian Shanafeld says, find someone who loves and defends you as much as Harry, the Greek, loves. Defends Josh Rosen.
Oh, jeez. Well, you've been defending him for years, but look, he was a first-round pick. Scouts were saying he's too smart for his own good. He needs to be challenged by coaches. Kid wasn't, I guess, challenged enough, but, he was definitely challenged all right. He was physically challenged.
He's challenged all right.
Yeah. He didn't challenge anybody. Fields is a number.
His number is 1 for a reason.
Well, okay. That to me, all right, good. He's number 1 for a reason. Why?
Again,
number 1 sack quarterback the second half of the year. What? I'm just telling the truth. I mean, I'm not saying anything.
That was in the beginning part of the year.
What, 38 sacks?
Hold on. Did you know that the left tackle who was older than you?
Yes.
Okay. And Peters.
Pretty old.
Okay. Just think about this.
Yes.
In the first half of the season, the guy looked like Swiss cheese.
I agree.
Did you know he had one of the highest PFF grades as a left tackle in the second half of the season? I just want you to chew on that for a little while.
I am. Okay? I am absolutely doing that.
Because they finally realized it was easier to run block than it is to pass block.
Right. So you're limiting your quarterback who you drafted.
To making mistakes.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair enough. But again, you're still going to have to throw the ball to win in the National Football League.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to
share play defense.
Don't forget to share the show. Take a moment, hit the like button, put this on someone's timeline, including yours. This is how we grow it organically over here at 1252 Sports. Don't forget this Sunday, you can catch it 9 a.m. Eastern time.
Really?
Hard Count Football Podcast with Jacob Charnow, and I might be making an appearance Monday evening with Mr. Fred Hubner with Hubes, Views, and Brews.
And I may have the Sports Web on Monday. We'll see. I may have to do some investing in a new computer here.
We're going to go ahead and cut it a little bit short tonight. For those of you that are watching, we're going to be jumping on the Big Boards program this evening on North Sports Dynasty with Canada's very own Mr. Andrew Faubert.
Oh, Canada.
Don't speak like that.
Why?
Because he's never going to let you on there. It's like a disgrace to the country.
He's the big board. He calls me Peter King. I mean, that guy has been nothing but respectful for me. He's always been down for whether I was with, the other platforms.
Say it.
See,
Say it.
now I'm CW44, 44P.
Say it.
By the way, if you're locally here, tune into my broadcast tonight as I report on a pizza place locally here. It's a great story.
Yeah, it's a great story.
CW44, 10 o'clock. Yours truly. I didn't make an appearance, though. No stand-up today.
No stand-up.
No.
Nope.
That didn't work out too well.
Anyway, it's 2-2 Sox and the Twins in the top of the fourth. It looks like McGuire is up to the plate. I'm sorry, Fred, you didn't cash your parlay. I sure hope Luis Roberts going to be okay.
Is Pagan pitching? I think he pitched for the Rays and also the A's.
He could have.
He
We're
did.
Go ahead and give some of the scores. Phillies at the Marlins right now in the bottom of the ninth. The Phillies are up by 1. The Braves at the Nationals. The Braves are handing them their ass right now. They're winning 6-1 top of the seventh. In the seventh inning, the Red Sox are beating the Yankees right now 4-3.
Beat them, but that won't last. The Yankees will come back and win that game.
Royals at the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are knocking the Royals around 8-1. Orioles at the Rays. At the end of 6, the Rays have come back and they're winning 5-2.
I probably should have taken the Rays.
Absolutely. The Tigers at the Guardians in the bottom of the 7th. The Tigers are beating the Guardians 5-4. Top 5 Mariners up 4-0. White Sox tied, knotted up 2-2 in the 4th. In the 6th, A's and Astros. Astros are up 1-0. Reds at Cardinals 3-3 in the 4th. Pirates at the Rockies tied at 1 in the 3rd. Dodgers, Angels, Diamondbacks, Padres, Brewers, and Giants still coming up.
You seem to be good at that. Did you do radio a long time?
Never.
I hear some radio in that voice.
About 25, 30 years ago.
Good big more sports updates every hour on the hour with your home of the best sports coverage.
Or hold on.
Yeah.
It used to be news and weather at the top and bottom of every hour.
That's right. Very nice. See, I know about you.
But I will not give the call letters.
I've heard you.
Never.
I've heard you before.
I do appreciate everybody tuning in this evening. We're going to see you next Friday. Same time, same channel, same bet place.
Yes.
On the over-under here on 1252 Sports. I'm your host, Harry the Greek. Keep your bets low and your returns high.
3 things. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about.
Oh, boy. Did you really just say that?
I did.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.